Yes, indeed. Welcome back to the podcast. On my podcast today, Full Profits Podcast is Skinny Boy K. Peace, brother. How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, brother. Good to talk to you for a couple minutes before we got started.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let everybody know where you from, my guy. Kick it off.
I am from Cleveland, Ohio, originally, but I do like to make it a point to let people know that because I spent so much time there, about 10, 11 years, that I'm from Cleveland, like I was born there, early life there, but Oakwood Village, which is a small little town, it's in Bedford, Ohio, south of Cleveland, so it's not too far. I like to kind of keep it authentic though, because that's kind of where my adolescence and everything. A lot of stuff I got into was in Oakwood Village.
Hey man, your neighborhood is basically where the most people recognize you from, where you made
Yeah, absolutely.
the majority of your memories. That's where people know you from. That's where you from. All right.
Yeah,
So part
yeah,
of my time in Chicago is divided up all over the east side. You know what I mean? People gonna know me from 87. People gonna know me from 63rd in
yeah,
Chicago. All right.
yeah,
So it don't
yeah,
matter to me, but people gonna know. Like when you ask people, yo, we know, yeah, we know him. We know dude.
yeah,
Dude grew
yeah,
up over here. So it's what you prefer. You know what I mean? Where people
yeah,
when they can trace your roots back and people can speak on you and they know where you from, that's where you from, bro. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's home. That's home.
That's home for you. All right. So what was it like for you growing up there, my guy?
So, like I said, I moved there when I was like 9. I was like 9 or 10 because I remember I was like ending the third grade, starting the fourth grade. So that was like, and then that was like it's like a culture shock because it's about perspective. Because
Hmm.
prior to moving there, like I said, we was bouncing around from different places in Cleveland. I was living in East Cleveland. I stayed in Cleveland Heights. I lived in like in the Buckeye area, just a bunch of different streets around that area. So I was coming from a lot more tougher areas than what we kind of moved into. Now we were still staying in like the low income part of a part of that suburb. But man, I remember driving out there and just seeing just open road and trees. I had never seen a deer before. You
Mm,
know what I mean? So just in person. So
mm.
moving out there was kind of like a shock because it wasn't that, like I said, it ain't that far from where I was at. But as a kid, your perspective ain't, it's not you thinking you somewhere out. And I ain't even that far from where Cleveland was at. But early life there, man, it wasn't bad, man. We moved into a neighborhood. Like I said, it was a lot of people out there already knew each other. They was related. It was whether it was biological, I mean by blood or not. But
Hmm. Hmm.
early on, we meshed with the neighborhood. But me and my brother was coming from a certain area, so we kind of carried that with us when we was up there. We went out there, thought all dudes, and we thought the dudes was soft and shit like that. Because we coming from, I'm talking about some rough shit. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we
That's
get
usually how
out
it go.
there.
That's
Yeah,
usually
we
how it
get
go.
out there and we like, man, we get into it with, but that's the one thing about wherever you are, it's gonna be them type of people wherever. It don't matter where you at. So,
100%.
early on we was, we kind of meshed with the neighborhood kids, but we got into conflict with them over the course of a couple of years. Not too serious, but because it was me and my brother early on, and then my two sisters. So me and my brother was outside. We was at the basketball court. We was walking around. We was in the neighborhood, so we was getting into it. Not on some kid shit, nothing
Yeah.
too serious. But outside of that, man, it was
Just fights. Just getting just earning your
yeah,
bones in the neighborhood with the neighborhood
basically,
guys. That's
man,
all.
proving yourself to the neighborhood dudes. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Falling out, being friends, falling out, being friends again, just little young shit like that.
Yep. Yep. That's all it was. All right. So
Yeah.
around this time, how old are you?
So I want to say, like I said, I moved in when I was like 10, but
Okay.
once we started kind of like getting into it again in trouble and stuff like that, I was probably like from like 13 on to about maybe from about 12 to like 16.
All right. Cool. So around that time, no, no, I should say, what music were you listening to at that time? Do you remember?
So my reference point for any type of music that I was listening to came directly from my mom. So
Okay.
growing up, she was a heavy, huge Tupac fan, Lil Wayne, a lot heavy Lil Wayne. Like not like mixtape Lil Wayne, but because my mama like 50 something, so she wasn't like on Daft Pip or nothing like that. But I'm
Oh no,
talking
she
about the
was early,
Carter.
early on. Yeah, she probably was
Yeah, like
that
the
Hot Boys
Carter.
era and everything like that. That's
Yeah,
probably what she grew
exactly.
up.
So
Yeah.
I grew up listening to albums I remember distinctly. Uh Late Registration by Kanye, the Carter 2, the Carter 3,
Hmm.
uh a lot of stuff by Jay-Z, a lot of stuff by Pac. Michael Jackson heavy. I grew up almost damn near thinking we was related to Michael Jackson as much as he
Okay,
used to
there we
play with
go.
him. So
There we go.
yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Prince, um, Mariah Carey, just T.I., a lot of stuff like that. So a lot of my musical taste was kind of based on my mom. And then as I got older, I started to listen to some stuff on my own, but a lot of that came from my mom.
Bet it up, bet it up. So mom's was kind of on the rough side too. Then mom got some hood in her, bro.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. My mama, yeah, my mama was like that. She came from where she came from. That's why she wanted
Hmm.
us to kind of have a little better upbringing.
So for sure. So you growing up, you hearing all the different music. At what point do you start to get inspired to say this is what I want to do?
It's funny because I always tell this story. I didn't. I used to write like comics and stuff like that, like fictional stories, superheroes and stuff
Oh,
like
that's
that.
dope. That's dope. I used to do something like that too, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Like we had a desktop that I would just write. Nothing was like grammatical errors, all that. But I'm a kid, but I'm writing stories and stuff. I had a cousin, my cousin Leland. He started rapping, and I remember he lived in Cleveland Heights, so we would go over and spend the night over there and stuff like that. And he started doing it, so we started doing it. So really, I just talked to him about 2, 3 weeks ago, and I told him, I
Mm,
said, "Cuz, you really the reason why I started rapping." So it was really my
mm,
cousin Leland. He kind of introduced me to it, and all we was doing was grabbing beats and shit off of YouTube and writing raps and shit like that. But my cousin Leland, the one that kind of got me started, and then after that, I remember being like in the fifth or sixth grade, actually writing my first rhyme. And I don't
okay.
remember it obviously, but that's probably rapping with him, and then kind of when I would go back home, I found I started to take an interest in it.
Okay. Definitely. Definitely. So you feeling it, you getting your vibes,
Yeah,
you around 12, 13 years old, starting to make your own bones with
yeah.
writing and everything. Did you ever like find create a group as some shorties at the time?
Yeah, yeah. We actually had me, my cousin, my same cousin Leland, and then my brother. We had a group called the American Boys. I don't know where it came from.
I
That was
don't
the name
either,
of the
bro.
group.
I don't
Yeah,
know. You got me with that
that
one.
I don't know. That was the name of the group. And then when I was in school, like my little friends at elementary school, we would make little rap groups and stuff like that too.
Okay.
But when I got older, like middle school, high school, that's when it kind of started to kind of form, and we all started to actually take it a little more serious. But early on, yeah, we had little rap groups.
Did you ever do the same stuff? So I don't know if you grew up in that tape era. I come from the tape era, right?
Hmm.
So in that era, we were able to take uh other people's beats and record
Yeah,
over them over the radio, right? While they were
yeah,
playing.
yeah,
And we would be
yeah,
able to
yeah.
go back and just loop it and record
Yeah.
over it for like 2 or 3 minutes. Were you able to do that growing up, or did you have a different way? Did you go into that CD era where y'all just burn them and listen to them and then play them back? I used to use the earphone jack for the mic and put that in
Yeah,
there and
yeah,
then just
yeah, yeah.
record over it. Yeah.
So when we were really young, that's what we would do. We would kind of just take the beat off of a computer, or like play the beat and kind of just record ourselves rapping to
Mhm.
it. But then once we started getting a little older, um, I think my cousin had like a MacBook, and
Okay.
we would start using GarageBand.
Okay.
Um,
Dope.
and we
Dope.
would take the beat, put it on there, and just literally nothing was mixed, nothing was none of that because we ain't know how to do none of that. We was just
No.
rapping over the beat.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, we
Yes,
was
sir.
using GarageBand very early on.
All right. So when did y'all finally get y'all first song put together? Y'all actual first song. Do you remember that?
I do remember. I don't remember the song. It was me, my cousin that had got me started, and then I got another cousin that's in jail right now. We was all three on the song. I think I can't remember. Somebody made the beat too. Somebody made the beat, and we all repped over there. And I'll be so mad to this day that I don't have that song no more. And it was probably ain't
Mm.
no telling what it sounded like, but it's just like a little moment in time of when we started. But I
Yeah.
remember we
Yeah.
we used to go into the garage and kind of because we couldn't really play the music and shit in the house, with my mama. So we used to go into the garage,
Hmm.
get on, got the MacBook, got GarageBand set up, turn the beat on, and we would just rap in there. But I do remember it. I don't remember the verse or nothing like that, but I remember us being in there doing it.
For sure. For sure. All right. Boom. So y'all got y'all group. Y'all called the American Boys.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Y'all trying to cut y'all songs, tapes, CDs,
yeah,
whatever it is.
yeah, yeah.
What's happening with the talent shows? Y'all got any talent shows going on at this time? What's going on?
So I want to say once I started getting a little older, like middle school, like eighth grade, going
Uh-huh.
into like high school, I got a homie named Keandre. He's a singer. So I met him playing football, like in seventh grade. We playing football, both of us sideline. We both ain't getting in. We both, we bench. We ain't
Yeah.
playing. So
Yeah.
we kind of just connect like that. He sing and everything. He a lot more musically inclined. So I connect with him. He make beats. He sing. He got an uncle that got a studio. So we started kind of like connecting and actually record music. So I started record music officially like when I was like 14 or something like
14.
that.
Okay.
We would either he would have his little setup with the little snowball microphone with the
Hmm.
laptop, and he'd come over to the house. We'd be in the garage with the no pop filter or nothing like that. We just put a stocking cap over the little microphone. We would
Got to.
record like
Got to
that.
protect the mic. Got to put a pop
Yeah.
filter over it. You don't want
Or
nobody.
sometimes,
You
yeah,
don't
or
want all that
sometimes
spit, all that nastiness caked up on your
yeah,
microphone.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That's fact.
Or
That's
sometimes
disgusting.
he did have an uncle. His uncle stayed like somewhere like on Lee Road or something like that. And his uncle had like an actual studio in his basement. So we'd go over there. Something that wasn't a lot, but sometimes I'd go over there and we'd actually record over there. But that didn't really start till I was about like 13 or 14. And then from there, it kind of kicked off from there. But I started actually recording about 13, 14 on my own. At this point, my cousins in the street, they doing what they doing.
Hmm.
And I'm the only one that kind of like took the music and actually kept doing it though.
Hmm. Okay, so everybody else breaks off from you because they
Yeah,
out there in the street hustling and
yeah.
everything. At what point do you say, I'm about to start just taking this music thing serious for myself and just go ahead and go
I want to
all out for it?
say like ninth and 10th grade. Like I was consistently record music, whether it was in a studio. I ain't had no money at the time, so we kind of like making do with what we had. But I want to say I got very serious about it like the 10th grade. To the point where I'm recording music, I'm releasing music too at this point. SoundCloud, dropping freestyles, rapping over Wayne. I remember having one of my earliest raps. I remember I'm rapping over Nightmares at the Bottom by Wayne.
Okay.
Rapping over that. That's on SoundCloud. So at this point, I'm recording stuff on the laptop and just releasing it. Like it ain't as bad quality as whatever, whatever, but I
Uh,
am consistently releasing
yeah,
music.
you trying
Probably
to put
about
it
like
together. Yeah.
yeah, probably
Want to
about
put
10th
yourself out
grade.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
So at any point do you finally what point do you finally get a demo do you ever get a demo put together or anything like that? Or do you find when do you finally
Um,
put your first project together?
I do remember this. So I was a senior. So all throughout high school, I'm rapping. I'm doing talent shows and
Mm-hmm.
shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm doing talent shows. I'm going around the school. I'm rapping. I'm doing little ciphers and rapping in the
Yeah.
hallways and shit like that. But
Was you
I
dope on the cipher
released.
tip? Was you dope on the ciphers?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It was
Yeah.
not. It was niggas at the schoolhouse that was better than me at the time.
Of
But
course.
I was always like a student of it. If it was a dude that was cold, I made it a point to be like I'm gonna be better than him type of
Yeah.
thing. But I was
For sure.
always in active. I was always in it. But
Got to
I
be.
want to say my senior year, I released like an 8 or 7 song project on it's on what is that? It's on Audio Mac right now.
Here we go.
Still on there. So that's the only thing is on Audio Mac, and it was called I was born on New Year's, January 1st, 1998. I'm 28. So the name of the tape was 1198. And that was like the first full length type of project I released. And when I was a senior in high school. And there was a lot going on. I got fighting in school, I got expelled, all type of shit. It was a lot going on. But that was the first project that I released. And that, like I said, that's the project we thugged it out in my closet with the mic with the stocking cap over there. But that was like a full front to back, recorded 7 songs, released it, had a little buzz around the schoolhouse too, you know. But that's probably the earliest project that I released that was like a full length project.
Doing was y'all at that time for you? Was y'all getting in like battles, like battle raps? Did y'all have battle raps going on in y'all in your area, or were you
So it
get
wasn't.
involved in that?
It was less of that, at least in the school. But like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I was doing talent shows. I was I was going around school. It was because it was niggas in the schoolhouse that was kind of popping at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I would go in front of them, yo, my name is da 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 da. Listen, upperclassmen and shit, and I would rap for them, but I wasn't necessarily getting into battles and shit, but I was definitely trying to be as active as I could, like with
Okay.
anything related to music in school, whether it was a talent show, I did a poetry slam. It was shit like that that I was just trying to be active in.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So you getting everything together, right?
Yeah,
You done
yeah,
cut you a EP. You know, made you an
yep.
EP project. How was you feeling about it? Was could you tell the progression was happening for yourself? You
I mean,
know,
at the time, I felt great about it, honestly, man, because it was like I said, it was a lot going on in the schoolhouse. You know, just little us beefing with niggas and fighting and woo woo. So that was like an expression of that. And no matter what it sound like today, like I still those at the time those was good raps. You know what I mean? I felt like I was hungry on it. I feel like it was kind of like me letting niggas know like, yo, this is what I'm on. So I
absolutely,
felt
hundred
good about
percent,
that project. Yeah, I
hundred
felt real
percent.
good about it.
Boom, you got the project going. You making your rounds around
Hmm.
the school area and everything, and you keep on doing. You graduate. What's the next step? Do you go to college, or do you just say, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and smack down on this rap shit for real?
So so funny, I did graduate, but I didn't walk across. I didn't attend the ceremony and walk across stage because I had got expelled for
You
fighting in
got
the
expelled.
cafeteria.
Oh man, you like to rumble, huh?
Man, it was one of them things where it's funny, man, because in school I was real. I got a little weight on me now, but in school, man, I was little, man. I'm talking about 120,
Mm-hmm.
125, 130.
Yeah,
So, but I was one of them dudes where it's like I just, a shift happened in senior year. I just started to, you know what I mean? I wasn't really taking nothing. So I was getting into it. But
okay, okay.
so that happened. I did graduate though. I did graduate. They just didn't let me walk across stage and nothing like that. So I didn't really think about college, man, to be honest with you, man. I didn't know if I wanted to do that because I really didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yes, sir.
But I think I took like from graduating, I think I took a couple of months and then I actually started going to community college for culinary arts. So
Don't tell
not
me
because
you
I
out
was
here chefing. Don't tell me I got a chef on here with me, man.
nah. My mom, see, what the thing is, my mama was a cook. My aunt was a real good cook, so it just felt natural, and I feel like it would have been something easy to do. So I went to school for a little bit, man. I did like a semester, um, and it was easy to be honest with you, man. It's just the fact that from high school to college, man, high school is mandatory. Your mama, your dad,
Yeah,
somebody forcing you to go. When it's college, that's you. So
it's all
the,
you, bro. It's all on you
the
at that point. There are
yeah,
no excuses for anything but the behavior yourself, and you have to take
right,
accountability for any and
right.
everything that you do, bro.
Yeah, man, I was catching like 3 buses there, 3 buses back. I ain't had no car, I ain't had my license. 3 buses there, 3 buses back.
Mm.
And after a while, man, I just looked up. Was like, man, I'm sick of doing this shit. So I stopped. I completed like a full semester. I had good grades and all that, and I just
Mm-hmm.
stopped going. And but I never, in the midst of that, I never stopped recording and making music. You know what I mean? We had a spot at my homie house. Because my homie was making the beats. My nigga Jabril was making the beats,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to Guitar Center and bought like monitor speakers, interface,
Mm-hmm.
headphones, and then the homie that my nigga Keandre that I had met in 7th grade, he was like our engineer. So in the midst of all this going to school, I still was recording music and
Yeah,
shit. You know what I mean? I was
bro.
still pretty consistently dropping music, but um yeah, I stopped going to try. I went for like a semester or two, but I stopped doing that. And then in the meantime, I just was working. You know what I mean? I started
So,
immediately working. But like I said, I was always recording music though. I never stopped recording music in the midst of all that.
so good. Boom. So you finished with college, right? Or you just
Hmm.
you working through college, community college, whatever, what have you. Where do you say, let me start fucking with this music for real? When you finally do that?
So
Or was there a different inspiration you had to fall back on the music and pick up something else? What was it? What's going on? Tell me.
so hold on. You just
Hold on, man. Losing this camera.
my fault.
No, you good. You good.
So I had a matter of fact, you know what I say, my nigga James, man, he was and when I was a senior, he was a sophomore, and we kind of like formed a little. We didn't have like an official rap group or rap name, but we was
Mm-hmm.
like always record music. So from like 2017 to like I don't know 2019, 2020, we was recording music. We was doing little showcases around the city.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing paid, obviously. It's just artist showcase. We'd go do that. We was doing shows. We was consistently going to the studio. Um, so he was definitely a major like force kind of driving me to keep me in the music because like we was kind of
Mm-hmm.
the energy, the synergy type of things like iron sharpens iron. So he was as good as he was, and it was kind of like encouraging me to kind of be better. So I would say doing that, but there was a period of time where we kind of drifted, not because anything happened, but I kind of lost interest in the music
Okay.
he was like ascending, you know what I mean? Trying to pull me back. Hey man, come. And it was for a time I just really stopped dropping music. I stopped writing music. I stopped recording.
Mm.
That was probably for like a solid like year and a half, to be honest with
Mm.
you.
It be like
Uh,
that.
yeah.
Uh-oh. It
Yeah.
be like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And sometimes that happens, man, just because where you are in life kind of dictates that you can't really mess with the music at the time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It could be you lose your motivation or your inspiration to do it, or it could just
Yeah.
be life circumstances that say, hey, right now you got to put this music shit off to the side, man. You know, you
Yeah.
might love music and you might want to focus on music, but for right now you got to get certain things about your life together and get these things in order so you can make better decisions for yourself. You know.
Yeah. It got to the point where it was like I think like my mindset towards it was different. Like I was paying niggas in the city that had names for features and shit,
Hmm.
doing songs, and I thought that like my perspective on it is different now, but then, I'm trying to do everything I can to kind of get a buzz and get this and get that. And I just feel like I was putting in the work and I was putting in shit and I just wasn't I think I wanted immediate gratification and I
Don't
wasn't
work
getting
that way
it.
though, my G, and
Yeah.
by now you know that. But keep on
Yeah.
going.
When you feel like, damn man, and it was coming from a place of just like honestly hating too, to be honest with you. Like I can look at it almost 30 now, looking at like a 21, 22. I was
That
hating.
happens. That
I
happens.
was hating. You know what I mean? It's niggas, it's local niggas. The scene in Cleveland is like, you know what I mean? And I just felt like I was better than this nigga, I was better than this nigga, but it's not happening for me. So I
That comes
spent too
along
much
with it.
time focusing on that it kind of like made me question or second guess the shit that I was making. And I think that was a big part of why I kind of fell back from the shit and I stopped doing
Mm,
it for a little bit. You know what I mean?
for sure. So at what point do you pick it back up and say, man, let me ramp this bitch back up, man, and get back on it?
I want to say I can tell you exactly when. So the homie that used to make my beats, we kind of like felt we solid now, we didn't see
Mm-hmm.
each other as like grown men now, but we kind of like fell out, and he was a huge part in shaping my sound, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm kind of like stuck without like a direction in terms like an artistic direction because people don't locking in with one producer is so important because y'all had a relationship and they help kind of like mold and shape your sound. So
Absolutely. Because
I'm
they'll
kind of
experiment with you, but once they find out what your sound is and what your what your template is,
they
they
stick
lock
to
in
that.
on that and they just say, all
Yep.
right, we just gonna do this. This is where you are. This is what you do right here. And they
Yep.
lock in and they go, all right, I got you, bro. I know what you like to do. I got
Yeah.
you.
So that was kind of where I was at, and then once me and Dude kind of started working together, I'm like, all right, I kind of had to find myself again as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I had a homie, another homie that I went to school with. Right. We was kind of fly, but he was an upperclassman, so I didn't really know him that well.
Mm-hmm.
He was fucking with me. He just started sending me beats. He's sending me beats, and the shit that he was sending me was so different from the shit that I used to rap on. He was just real like just stripped down beats, bare bones, no hi-hats, no just like he had take a soul sample and just loop that bitch and just
Mm-hmm.
that and I'm rapping over that. So once I started
I
fucking with
love shit
that,
like that. I love shit like that. That because it actually works if you know how to get on there and ride the beat. You know what I mean? And play
yeah,
with the loop. Like it really
yeah,
does work for you. But I love that
yeah,
type of shit. Keep on going though.
yeah. But
Keep on
once
going.
once I started fucking with him, almost rapping over that type of production kind of forced me to be a better writer. So
Mm, mm,
that's where the shift happened. And I started working with my nigga. He went by two different. He went by Yashi Martez, but he go by Ghost now. His producer tag.
mm.
Like 2020, 2021, I had put out another project called Skinny. That's when I kind of really started going by the mind. Put out another project called Skinny,
Okay.
and he produced a lot of the beats on that project, and that was like that's what kind of got me. I ain't gonna lie, I never even told bro this, but he kind of breathed like new life into me because I found a new sound, and it was like the first shit. I feel like I ain't have no identity. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't really talking about. I was rapping for the sake of rapping. You know what I mean? I wasn't really talking about shit. A lot of the shit sounded good, but if I listened to it now, it didn't make no sense.
It's just a
But
bunch of bars, lyrics, and shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah. But
Just
then it's like I started kind
dope
of
raps.
yeah. His production kind of forced me to be a better writer. So once I started working with him, it was a go. I kind of found that drive again, and I started releasing music a lot more consistently. I was recording videos. I'm going to the studio a lot more consistently, kind of networking and shit. I'm doing a little more showcases and shit. So he was definitely a big part of me, um, kind of finding myself again as an artist, and it felt more natural, man, because it was like I'm holding myself back from kind of writing the way that I can write,
Mm-hmm.
try to conform to some shit that's really just not me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's why I say the
exactly.
producer rapper relationship is so important because if you got that relationship with the wrong person, then you ain't gonna be producing the type of music that you truly capable of producing.
Hmm. And you'll find yourself talking about things that you don't
You don't
equate
even do
to, and
this.
you
Yeah,
can't you can't even live up to it, because
yeah,
you've been hearing other people rap like that and say the same things. But here's another thing about that, man. Some of the same dudes that we talk about, they got ghostwriters, and now it's coming out more than ever, and it's more prevalent now.
yeah,
Back in
yeah.
the era where I come from, because I'm older than you, of course.
Mhm.
Back when I was growing up, you would get called on that type of stuff. If that's what you
Oh
was
yeah,
doing, that like I said earlier on, they would go research your background and find out if you were really out here doing that type of stuff. You
oh
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, hey, do y'all know this dude? This he from over here? They would ask
Right.
you, hey, take us where you grew up.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like shit like that is important, man, because it's whether you it's to me it's just about being authentic. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
I'm like I said, when I was like I wouldn't even feel fuck. Nobody could know, but it's like that's about having integrity. Like if I'm writing some shit, I'm like, man, this shit
Absolutely.
ain't me. You know, like, I won't even feel right. Really, man, there's so many songs that I deleted, I took down because it's like, man, this shit ain't even me. You know what I mean? Like, this don't feel right. This ain't me, and I had to kind of find who I was, as an artist to kind of
Mm-hmm.
feel real confident about my music again. Because that was another thing. I would have songs for years. I just wasn't confident about it. Whether it's because it's subject matter, it's shit. I'm like, it's the beat, it's just shit that didn't feel like it was me. So it was like a freeing feeling to find bro, because it's almost like without even saying it, he got me. And I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is what it is. So I started getting on it. And around that time I started listening to like West Side Gun. I started listening to
Mm.
a lot more shit that's kind of like niche, and it kind of catered a lot more to I think the type of style I have now.
Well, let me say this because Westside Gun he was doing music for a while before he finally caught
Yeah,
on. And I haven't
yeah,
listened to dude for years and years and years. And I
yeah.
kept saying, yo, it's gonna take one time for someone to hear that and
Yep,
it becomes a snowball effect. But
yep,
before I heard him, I was doing some of those same raps without using the hi-hats and everything else.
yeah,
Just give me a
yeah,
loop or give me something that I can just ride and I can just ride the track on. Like I had already been saying that to the guys that do my production and beat making and
yeah,
everything like that. So they were already aware of that. They was like, no, you gotta have a hook, you gotta have this. I was like, no, I don't. It's music, it's
yeah,
free form.
yeah,
You can't tell me like I'm an artist. You can't tell me what I'm
yeah.
supposed to do on the beat. You
Because
know what I
everything
mean?
is so formulaic and structured. It's supposed to be. Because I
Yeah.
was a guy, I on purpose, I want no motherfucking hook. For what? I
Right.
would just my
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
especially with just like you stripping back the beat and you making it as basic and bare bone as possible, because I say the main instrument on there is me. Like even when I would work with different engineers and shit, they doing they chop. I said, man, you ain't gotta do all that shit for me. I said I want the most important thing on a song to be me, and then everything else is complementing that.
Yeah.
I don't need no auto tune. I don't know how many times for years I would go into the studio and them niggas just got it on. I mean, I said, man, I don't need that.
Yeah,
You
I
know what
don't
I
want no
mean? Like,
auto tune. I want to hear myself. I want to hear what I
yeah,
actually sound like when I'm saying these
yeah,
words. Even though I
yeah.
do hate myself, and I don't hate myself. I hate hearing myself.
I used to. I'm
I
over
feel
that
that way.
now,
I
but I
still feel
used to
that
be like,
way. I still feel
yeah,
that way. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to hear it. I do not want
yeah,
to hear me. You know what I mean? But let me hear
yeah,
those words that I'm saying so I can hear it back, and I know
yeah,
that what I'm saying is based in reality and it's a fact. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And my
yeah,
words they're poignant and they're saying something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but not
yeah.
every song is gonna be that way. Sometimes you're just gonna be talking your boisterous, hyperbolic
Right.
exaggeration bullshit. Like you're gonna be a
Braggadocious rap
rapper.
shit.
But
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
You're gonna be a braggadocious rapper. Like we all do it as artists, MCs, rappers. We are gonna do that. We're gonna do our braggadocio. We're gonna get on there
And
and we're gonna talk crazy. You know what
it's
I mean?
space for that. You know what I mean? It is space for that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like we gonna do that. But hearing myself, man, is one of the things I really I'm not really into that. I could care less about it. But just the words that makes to make sure I say the words correctly and it's
Yeah.
coming through the way that it's supposed to. That's all I really care about, man.
Yeah. That's the
So
most important thing to me.
hell yeah. So you rapping, boom. This is the producer that really has your sound. He got your
Yeah.
cadence now, right? He got your
Yeah.
signature. You done found your signature. It goes bad for you guys, right?
Mhm.
I don't want. Well, I would like for you to talk about it, all right? Because I was trying to word it a certain way.
Yeah.
Has it been resolved since then?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Now,
All right.
I don't even think he make music no more.
Oh
But
man. Okay.
we
So
didn't.
wait. Before we get to that, because why he don't make music? So why he don't make music? What caused y'all to have a fallout?
So the first guy in high school that was making my beats, it was just it was just ego. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was just ego.
Rapper
We were
bullshit.
recording. We were recording at his house. We all kind of chipped in on the equipment, but it was supposed to be. We had specific days we were supposed to be recording over there, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just ego shit, a lot of controlling shit going on. He was like he had like a label, and I was like the artist on the label, so it was a lot of creative differences that we had.
Mm.
Petty shit, honestly, that could have been resolved, but like I said, it was ego involved. Niggas was a little younger, and sometimes when it's ego and pride, the communication is lost, and that's really all.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all it was. So, um, and it's unfortunate, but some shit I feel like happened the way it's supposed to happen, because if I didn't stop making music with him, I don't think I would have met the homie that currently make a lot of my beats, and I don't think I would have kind of blossomed into the writer
Mm.
that I. Cause I listen to some of my old shit and listen to some of my new. And some of my homies like the old shit, and I'd be like, man, that shit is terrible. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
bruh, I feel like I am such a better writer, and I'm like, I don't feel like that would have happened if that situation didn't kind of sour the way it did. So
Mm.
like I said, we good now. I see him at the gym every so often, and we chop it up and shit. But I'm happy that it did kind of happen that way, because, like I said, it kind of forced the evolution, and it made me link with dude, and when we had a better synergy and we understood each other more creatively. So. And I wouldn't want to be the same artist I was back then. You know what I mean? Because it would have been stagnant, would have been no growth. So
Mm.
I think shit like that happened for a reason.
Absolutely, 100%. Boom. You link up with the new producer.
Hmm.
How long in between the fallout between the old producer and the new producer? How long of a span of time is this?
Yeah, it was probably like a year or two, honestly, because like I said, I always knew the new producer, Ghost. I always knew him, but he had moved he moved to like Charlotte or some shit like that. So he was gone, but he remembered me from high school, and he was fucking with some of my shit. So he didn't even charge me for it. He just started sending me beats like for free.
Okay.
He just was sending me beats, and then
Fire, fire.
yeah, and then once it's almost like I can imagine for like a producer, you have a vision for these beats, these things that you're creating, and then once you meet somebody that gets on the beat, and it's just like he get it.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of turned him up too. So we was kind of like feeding off of each other because he like, damn, bro, like I make beats for so many different people, and none of them kind of like doing what you doing on these motherfuckers. So we kind of locked in early, and we've been locked in, like, and shit. It's been almost like shit, like 7 or 8 years since then. We've been locked
Okay.
in. Yeah,
So,
we've been
so,
locked in.
so, so for him as well, then that means that he found that signature, he found that pattern that you have, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Or he
yeah,
found that
yeah.
pocket. So, does he ever push you to do anything outside of that normal pocket that you're used to?
So it's funny because yes, because I kind of stay like I'm comfortable. I'm kind of like cruising in that pocket, but he also is pretty diverse where he does have beats where it's more up tempo. There are drums in there, so it
Mm,
kind of just depend on what I'm doing for like a project. Because I'll have a beat where it's just like a soul sample, and I'm rapping, but then he'll have some shit where it's just like it's hi hats, it's kicks, it's drums on that shit. And I'm like, yeah, I
mm.
could do that too. The thing about me is I can 100% do it. I just know where I shine the most at, but I can definitely do it on the other end.
Aha, aha.
Yes.
But my brother, it's not about staying in the pocket where you're the best at. It's about
Yeah,
being well rounded
I
as
got
an artist. You
you.
understand? It's
Yeah,
about being well rounded as an artist and being able to step outside of that lane. That way,
yeah,
if he call you in there one day, let's say there's someone else that needs a song done a certain way, and
yeah,
no one else knows how to do it, you're always available to say that, hey, I know how to do that,
right.
right? Oh, I know how to do that. And then for you, it happens within a 15-minute frame to an hour,
Yeah,
right? You
yeah,
knock it out and it get done. Or he said, hey, I need you to write a song this way, or I need you to write a song this way. It's
yeah,
always a great exercise for you as an artist, as a rapper, as an MC to be able to
yeah,
do those things.
yeah,
You should
for sure.
always explore those options and be able to do that. You know, if they say they need you to write a hook, you know, if they say they need you to do a little crooning session
Yeah,
where you're
yeah,
doing a bridge for a song and they need you to do certain things. Bro, it's always good to just be well rounded. To have that
yeah,
main thing that you know that you can focus on and you lock down, it's always dope. But to be able to step into those other lanes and be able
yeah.
to knock those things out as well, that's always a plus. That's always a plus, my G.
A
It's
plus.
always a
Yeah,
plus. That's
yeah.
boom. So you rocking
100%.
out with this producer.
Yeah.
Uh how long before you guys put a project out together?
Um. So before he was sending me just beats, and I was just like, I will put out songs with his, that from a beat he made, but like an entire project produced solely by him. I actually just released that like 8 or 9 months ago. But like I said,
Really?
we got music that we've done, but
Mm-hmm.
this was the first time that I locked in, and there's only like one beat on there that he didn't make. I released a project about 8 or 9 months ago called "This Shit Is Different,"
Mm,
and he produced it's 8 songs, and he probably produced six of the beats on there. Six of the beats on there. So I got that is like the most recent project I dropped, but I got a project before that called Soul Music. It's like a 6 song EP
okay. Okay.
that he didn't produce that. I met a dude named by the name of producer by the name of Flowsen on Instagram, and we just connected on Instagram. Like he was fucking with some of the music that current producer produced, and
Yeah.
we locked in. I did a couple of songs. He sent me some beats, and then it got to the point where he wanted to do a project, so I released about a 6 song EP called Soul Music.
Mm,
And that's probably about a year ago. Honestly, about a year and a half ago. But
okay.
but the current producer that we've been speaking about, we do have a project where he produced about 6 songs on there, and then I'm currently working on a collab project where he'll be producing all of the songs on there.
All right,
And
dope.
that should be about like a 12 song project.
Also, then at that point with 12 of them on there, bro, that's an actual album.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah. So it's
Nine
that's
or
taking a
down,
little
I
longer.
think nine or down is a EP.
Yeah,
Once you cross over into like the 11 and 12 mark, I think that's when it becomes a whole album.
yeah, yeah, and that's looking like that's about 85% done. There's a couple features I'm waiting on.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, that'll be the first project that we did where all of the beats are his.
For sure. For So that's good to hear. Good to know that y'all
Yeah.
working out like that. So
Oh
y'all been
yeah,
rocking for 7 to 8 years, but how many projects would this be? A total of that y'all done together?
two.
Two. All right. So
Yeah.
in between knowing him and being down with him for the last 7 to 8 years, what other music were you putting out music with other artists, or were you just like take grabbing beats off the internet, or just creating your
So
mixtape? What's been happening?
so I was putting out music. I got like I said, I got a project that I probably released like 2021, 2022, called Skinny. And he got a couple of beats on there. Most of the beats on there are his, I think. And then in between that, it was just me dropping random singles and random songs. I really wasn't locked in like I should have been, because I should have a lot, for as long as I've been rapping, I should have a lot more like full length projects, to be honest with you. But um I think currently
I'm not
I
gonna
only
say
got,
full length, but you should have a few projects out there, bro, that are like
yeah,
7, 8, 9 songs.
yeah.
6 songs here, 7 songs there, 9 songs here. Yeah, you should
But
definitely be doing that.
I got features from like I said, running like ads on Instagram has helped me a lot, because I run ads on multiple things, and then
Okay,
that's how I meet other artists from different states, and I meet, you get
that's
the
a fact.
bots from that shit, but I do connect with real people. And
That's a fact.
so I've done features for a bunch of different artists.
That's a fact.
Just on some, I'm on the type, I'm for the art, man. I don't charge for that shit. I gotta like the song, you know what I mean? We gotta get
A
the
hundred
splits and shit
percent.
together, our splits and and together and shit like that. But
Yeah.
as long as I like the song, as long as we build a rapport, shit, send me the verse. I send it back, and my goal is to always try to outdo you on your own shit. So I be looking forward to it. So in between that time, I was I was releasing songs, and then I was doing features for just different artists from different states that I was, people from the city, but then from different artists and shit that I was meeting on Instagram.
My man, that should always be the goal to outshine anybody on their
Yeah,
song. That should
absolutely.
always be the goal. I'm about to leave a mark, a shit stain, a scar,
Yeah,
a crater, a
yeah.
microcosm, microcosm. I'm gonna do something on this thing that's gonna make sure that when people hear it back, they go, "Yo, who is dude?
What was that? You
Yeah,
got to. You got
he
to, man.
nice." Or like, "Yeah, run that back. Let me hear what he said right there again."
Yeah, you
What he
got
said
to,
right
man.
there? Yeah,
You got
that's
to.
the type of effect that I want to have, my brother.
Yeah,
That's the type of
yeah,
effect like when people go back and they listen to it, they go, "Hey, what dude be saying? Hey,
yeah.
hey, play that again." Like that was crazy. You understand? Like I always want to have that effect.
Man, I got a couple.
Anything.
I got a couple features that I did, man. Like I said, if I'm doing anything, it's because I genuinely want to do it. I
Mm-hmm.
got a couple features I did. Some of my homies would be like, "It's bruh's dude song." Some of my homies be like, "Hey, bruh, cool," but your shit, I'm like, for sure. Listen, I'm like, I'm already, but fuck with bro though. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm already knowing though, and
Mm-hmm.
that's my goal. I'm trying to get on that motherfucker and enhance it. You know what I
Kill.
mean?
Yeah, I'm here to kill. Every
Yeah,
time. And if you got me on there, I'm here to kill. Now,
yeah.
if I just want to be on some cool shit about what I'm saying, then I'm definitely just gonna I'm gonna take the cool roll, the chill roll, and I'm gonna make it on
And
some
buy about. Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna be on some cool player shit. But
Hmm.
if I know what the song is about, especially if it's on some lyricism type stuff,
Yeah.
I'm about to scar any living, breathing soul on here. And not only am I gonna scar you, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
scar everybody's ears when they hear it. And they're gonna be able to go back and they're gonna go back and play that song and they're gonna go back and listen to every line. That's all I want to know is that y'all
Yeah.
keep going back for 10 seconds, five
Right.
seconds, just to hear
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I wanna definitely have that type of
Effect
impact
on
when
you.
I'm doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because
Absolutely.
some niggas would be scared. Like, I'm on songs with dudes that's like, oh, he nice. It make me go like, damn, bro, nice. But
Hmm.
for it, that make you do one or two things for some artists, and make niggas avoid it, and they don't want to do the song with you. For me,
Hmm.
if I recognize that in you, I said, all right, bet I'm on that. Let's do it,
Yeah.
because you pushing me to be better.
That's it.
That's the only way I react to it.
That's the,
Only way I react
that's the
to it.
only thing I want to hear. If I hear something that's dope, I go, "Oh,
For sure.
he
All
went
right.
off on that shit."
Right.
And
Yeah.
if I was to get that call or I asked for that person to get on something with me,
Yeah.
I want that same energy.
I'm trying to attack it the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
than to do it the same way every trip, every
Kill
song.
mode every time. Yeah.
I didn't build like on some. I got fuck just the Instagram DMs. I got niggas numbers. We text like because we didn't build like real rapport off of that. Like you was tough. I'm tough. We do songs together. It's like something that you ain't even gotta say. Hey, we on this bitch trying to take each other head off type shit.
Yeah,
I mean, you
yeah,
gotta say it.
yeah, absolutely. I have songs like that. I've done songs like that. I've been a part of shit like that, bro.
Hmm.
And it's not. I'm not gonna say nothing negative about nobody, but there have been songs or times where we've done songs as a group, and
Yeah.
we ask other people to get on them, and when they hear it, they go, "Y'all, no,
Yeah, it can't be like that.
I'm
Can't be
good."
like that.
Oh, y'all rapping, like yeah.
Yeah, you gotta accept the challenge. And then for me, it's like I don't feel like I can never not be like I'm better than what I am. I'm better than what I was yesterday. Like if I write, I used to have songs that I'd be like, damn, bro, like this is my best. Or people would tell me like, this is your best song, this is your best song. And in my mind, I convinced myself for a time that damn, I can't do that again. But then I had to sit with myself. I said, my nigga, you wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Why you can't
Yeah,
do it again? You wrote it. So whatever
yeah,
you found, whatever you have, find it again and do it better.
yeah, and there it is.
That's
There it
it.
is. Get
That's
better.
it.
If
Yeah.
they like that one, I had to do something better the next time. So every time that they hear
Yep.
me, that is the goal. That is the goal to
Yep.
always outdo what I just did and
Absolutely.
be more poisonous and more potent the next
Yeah.
time that they hear me. That way, every time they
Yep.
hear me, they yo, every time I hear dude, like he really be stepping on ish. He really be
Yeah.
stepping on
Yeah.
ish. You know, that's
Yeah.
what you want, man. You want to have that impact as always, always as much as you can. You want to have that impact. You know, like I
Yeah.
said, sometimes I give you the chill vibe and be on some cool stuff. But when
Yeah.
I'm attacking. And sometimes it ain't like the most craziest, hardest stuff. But when you listen, you're
Yeah.
like, that was very witty. He
Yeah.
used personification. He used different
Yeah.
things like that. You know, similes,
Yeah.
metaphors. He used all these things. He made a really dope verse. Like that was crazy
Yeah.
how he put that together. You know.
Yeah. 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 And you also you got to know your strengths. You got to be in order to get better. You got to be aware of your weaknesses too. You know what I mean? So it's certain. It's a lot of aspects of writing. You know, it's not just. That's why when you can't just say one person is better than, or if Kendrick, whatever the case. I like to really be specific about it because there's so many different facets to being like a writer.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, it's different things. Like I take it back. My favorite subject in school was English. Like
Mine
you
too.
got to look at what type of literary devices people use, and
Mm-hmm.
this and that, and then it's so much. It's like sliders on 2K, bro. Like he might have a better flow. He got a better cadence. His wordplay is better. Like I'll tell you, I got a homie. He can make he real big sports dude, basketball dudes. We get on the song and it's so many damn basketball references. I can't do it simply because I don't have the knowledge. But it's like
Yeah.
if I want to, I gotta get it and I try to incorporate it the same way. So it's never just one thing when it's being a writer, man. You grade it on I grade it on a different scale. It's not just oh he's better than him just because of that. It's definitely reasons why.
Yeah, yeah, and levels as well. You know,
Yeah.
there's always different ways of why they putting this track together.
Mhm.
I got a homie man that's literally part of the group, and he won't even say nothing. He'll just send it to you like, here, knock that out.
Yeah.
He won't say nothing. So you got to make sure when you listen to it, you're paying attention to the direction he's going. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
is he doing a bar count?
Right.
Is he flipping a certain? You know, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
why I say when you're listening to hip hop music, man, we not just rhyming. Some of us are literary linguists, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. It's deep, man. It's
It's
deeper than that.
it's more than surface level of me saying, you know, rhyme this with piss
Yeah. Right.
and
Right.
that with cat
Right. Right.
and you with few. Like it's more than
Right.
that. Like I'm
Yeah.
really saying something that has more layers. There's double entendres that are taking place. There's
Yeah.
multiple things that are taking place in every verse that you ever that for the most part when you hear them, unless they
Yeah.
just talking some straight up street shit, you know, or
Right.
they just saying really hardcore
But
bars.
even with that, the ones that are really good at I was just talking to I fuck with Mozzie. Even the ones that are really good at that,
Hmm.
at his core, they talk about some street shit, but he can paint the story in such a way that the other nigga that's rapping about the same type of shit, the same life, he can't do it like that.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Even if you take the same subject matter, it could be the most whatever it is, whether it's the streets or whether it's not. You still have to be a good writer to kind of to bring that to life, and
There
because you
you
can
go.
tell the same story two completely different ways. Excuse me,
100%.
but you gotta be skilled enough to do it, and
There you
it's
go.
it's it's not a lot. It's
There you
not a lot
go.
that can.
No, sir. Some of them can just tell some street shit on a street level.
Right.
but they can't paint you a picture of the streets the way
Yeah.
that they, the way that
Yeah.
certain other artists can. Like
Yeah.
when I listen to Nas at certain points, when I'm listening to Nas, I can when he's talking about drinking wine or going to business meetings, I literally feel like I'm in that room with him.
You can see it almost.
Yeah, like when he talks
Yeah.
about drinking a certain Bordeaux, like I
Yeah.
can taste the Bordeaux. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Some
And that's
guys
real
can't do that.
effective. That's real effective descriptive writing to the point where you can kind of sit and
Yeah.
really envision that and imagine that. And that's a skill, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's still something that I'm working on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm more critical. Nobody can be more critical than you. You know when it comes to your
No,
own
for sure.
art. So that's definitely something that I strive for. But like I said, you get them guys that can do it effortlessly. You know?
Yeah. So Styles P is one of my favorite rappers, and he's known for being one of the hardest ever as far as
Yeah.
like hardcore rap goes
Yeah.
and gangster rap. But when I listen to him, man, sometimes he say stuff that's so hard, it just make you
Hmm.
cringe up. You understand what I'm saying? Like you be listening to it like, who the fuck would have thought of some shit like that, you know?
Man. I was listening to Benny. It's fun. I was listening to Benny the Butcher today, and then work in
See
the
another
work truck.
one.
I'm sitting there like, damn, like I can, and it's not. He don't even really have a real dynamic flow. You know what I mean? But
Mm-mm.
it's it's his ability to write and his how descriptive his storytelling is that kind of make up for that. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
it's stuff like that it'll catch you like a couple say it's like a delayed effect because I'm sitting there and I'm listening to it and then it'll hit me. I'm like, oh, that's what he meant type shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's real potent writing to me.
Yeah, yeah, and he's gotten better
Yeah,
with his wordplay and everything like that. And but he can
yeah,
hit you with some straight up dope bars, but with some
yeah,
street shit in there, man, and they make you go, ooh, this boy tough,
yeah.
man.
You got
Benny
it.
is
You
Benny is
got
one of
it.
my favorites, man. Currently, he's really one
Yeah.
of my favorites, man. Like outside of him talking that street shit, I don't really listen to a lot of guys that be talking about it, but I do like
Hmm.
Freddie Gibbs, Rome Streets,
Yeah, yeah,
Ransom. Ransom's
yeah.
another one of my favorite, as far as
Hmm.
that goes. But I've been listening to a lot of different guys lately. Dr. Al
Okay.
Fresco that I've been
Yeah,
listening to,
yeah,
guys that I've had on my podcast recently.
yeah,
I just be listening to you guys' music and just checking it out. So,
yeah,
um, those guys are also dope, man. But like I said, sometimes there are certain artists, man, they can write it a certain way, and it just has that grip and effect on you, and it make you just frown up
yeah,
and go, "Yo,
yeah,
why, where did he get that from? How was he thinking like that?"
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was just like one of the Styles P old lines. He said, what he say? But my voice, I forgot how he said it. Uh, he said, "You got some fly shit, but my shit is like the whole sky falling from the sky, bitch." He
Yeah.
said, "Well, you
Just
got fly shit, but my shit is like the whole sky, like the clouds." I forgot he said, but like it's like the whole sky, like the clouds falling out the sky, bitch.
yeah, yeah,
Loud
yeah,
crash. I'm the
yeah.
quiet loud ass. I was like, "Yo, what?"
It's like when it's like personification and
Yeah,
or like in rap or
yeah,
like an onomatopoeia or shit like
yeah,
people people man like it's a skill man. Like I said, you can't do that like without a good English background in school.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
when I was in high school,
That's a fact.
I was like basic English, but I remember, and I'm mad I didn't do it, but I remember like transitioning into like 11th grade to 12th grade. My English teacher, she said, "Hey," he basically said that I could take like honors English or like advanced English, and I just didn't do it because I figured it would be harder. But like it was natural for me. Like when I would write, I would had no problem writing essays and doing because it just wasn't hard to do.
I
So
had the
it
AP
transferred.
class. They gave me the AP class. They was, oh, you love this stuff. I'm like, hell yeah, I love this. This is where it's at for
Government,
me.
social studies, and English.
Mm-hmm.
That was my bag in
This
school.
why I get in my bag and I get to play around and understand what other writers are doing when they're
Yeah,
using words. And I
yeah,
told my teacher at the time, who was a really good teacher, I told him, I said, y'all really think that rappers just be rapping about bitches and killing and everything? Say, do
yeah,
y'all really y'all can't hear it because y'all older and
yeah.
you already got your nose up at what we doing because we're black, we're young,
Hmm.
and we're considered to be rebellious. Oh, this is just rebellious music. But
Yeah,
a lot of stuff Wu Tang wasn't saying wasn't rebellious. It was actually 5 percenters talking amongst each other, having a conversation and giving you the game and the information. That's all it
Yeah.
was. So we had to go back and teach them how to listen or let them listen to it without anybody being in the room. It would be us after class, bro. It would be like 5 or 6 of us after class and letting them hear this music so they could
Yeah.
hear it for themselves. And then like we
Yeah.
would say it slower for them. Like, this is
So
what
they
he
can
said.
understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, do
Man,
you understand what was being said right now?
because they already, like you said, they already got like this preconceived notion of what it is. And then it don't, like I said, it's space for everything. So I ain't the nigga that be like, oh, the mainstream is, but when that's the only thing that they hear, then they think that's all that they. I think that stuff has a place in hip hop. All of it does. But when that's the only thing that they hear, then they feel like that's all that it is. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And it's not, man. It's funny because in the song I had a long time ago, when you talk about deciphering in the language, we get it and we understand it immediately, but it's almost a foreign language to them. I almost say like in a song I said something about like talking about like slave talk, like how the slaves would have to kind of speak in code, like it's a dialect that they don't understand. You know what I
correct.
mean? And it's not
Absolutely.
like we ain't on rap songs speaking another language. You know what I mean? It's the same language that they speak. It's just like it's like a cultural thing, and they just don't understand
We
it. And
talking in code.
yeah, but that hesitance to even want to understand it and to see the genius in it will have them kind of just writing it off as just bullshit. And it's like, man, these dudes is poets, and you listen to some of these songs, these dudes and scholars and man, come on now,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it's
There's a
you
there's
gotta
a
be
there's a young
yeah.
lady that I follow online on Instagram, and I think she's a literary linguist, and she breaks
Hmm.
down Ti's
Hmm.
verse and Lil Wayne verse, and she tells you word for word, bar for bar, what they're doing in
Yeah.
each one of the lines. And I love it
Yeah.
because it's so dope, because she's giving you the game, she's allowing you to see what term that is. She's
Yeah.
defining a term that you're using, like,
Yeah.
uh real G's moving silence, was real G's moving silence like lasagna, right? So
Yeah.
she's breaking
Hmm.
these things down and she's showing you what that is, what
Yeah.
literary term these things are. And I love, her name is Cree Miles, and she
Gotcha.
does a real good job of that. She's not like telling you what the words mean, but she's telling you
Right.
the definition of it in a
Right.
literary context,
Right.
which I think
Yep.
is dope. And they really just think we just be talking and just saying negative,
Anything.
bad stuff about our community and people and shooting people and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, that ain't all there is to it, man. Even
Yeah.
in those songs, she'll break those songs down for you so you can understand what they saying.
Man, I can't think of this dude's name. It's a guy on TikTok that I started following, and he's kind of doing the same thing with a lot of Meek Mill songs. And it's like
Mm,
it's like a I think he's like a so he's like some type of he's majoring in not psychology, but can't think of what it is, but he's majoring in that. But and it's like even if Meek Mill probably ain't even aware that he doing this, but he
mm,
kind of doing it the same thing that the lady is doing. You know what I mean? And you
mm,
listen, he's breaking it down. You listen to all these songs, it's like, yeah, man, you have to be able to utilize whether we doing it kind of like whether we consciously aware that that's what we doing. That's what we doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think doing hip hop music is always dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you, I understand what the gangster rappers be saying, man. My imagination don't work like that. I don't be talking about the stuff that ain't real. Like my mind don't work like that. My mind don't venture out like that. But to be honest, I think you lying, because in order for you to hustle and be out here in the streets, you got to have some type of imagination to do it. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I just think that they're
Hmm.
taking a road where they feel like I don't want to combine like my imagination to exaggerate what I
Hmm.
did. But for
Right.
the most part, y'all niggas are exaggerating.
It's a lot of they embellishing. I
Niggas be
yeah,
Yeah, it's
they're
embellishment.
embellishing.
It is. It's
Yeah.
happening all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and we
You
know
gotta
that. When I be listening to some of the shit, I'm like, ooh, like that ain't how it happened. But you're using
and,
words.
and making it sound good. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
doing it anyway. So why you sitting here
Yeah.
saying, like, come on, man, stop looking down on the backpackers and the super
Right.
lyrical miracle niggas that like
Yeah.
doing that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you do it to a certain degree. You just do it on some street shit. That's it.
Right. Right. That's all it is. Like we like you said, it's levels. They do it like the lyrical backpack. They do it. Y'all do it too. It's just not to the same extent, but you are doing the same thing.
Doing the same exact thing, my
Yeah.
G. You
Yeah.
just you just
Yeah.
happen to do it in an aggressive manner, in a context that's violent. That
Yeah.
just may be more violent, and is and you know, people fuck
Context,
with
like
that. Yeah, the
yeah, like you said,
context
the
is different.
context is different. The context is
Hmm.
different, but we essentially doing the same thing.
Bang bang. That's all it is.
Yes,
All right. So I got some questions. I'm about to run these questions off to you. All
yes,
right.
sir.
All right. Have you been listening to my podcast? Yes or no? Because you may know these questions. You may have.
I have not, but prior to you
Good.
reaching out to me,
Nope.
I had.
Nope. Nope. I don't even care about it. Good. That's even better. All right. First question. 5 producers you would like to work with. Dead,
Alchemist,
alive, whoever. Don't matter.
Alchemist,
Hmm.
um, Harry Fraud,
Hmm.
um, damn, what's the name? Knife Wonder, No ID. Shit. Why, Madlib, 5.
Hmm.
There
That's
you go.
5. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. My next question for you is this:
Mm-hmm.
5 artists you would like to work with.
5 artists I would like to work with. Hmm. Earl Sweatshirt.
Hmm.
Um, Artist by the name of Mick Jenkins.
Okay. That sounds familiar.
Just because such a fan I was growing up. Lil Wayne, just
Okay.
I gotta say that. I'm trying to think of people I listen to a lot. Shit, Schoolboy Q. I listen to that's all the high school. Schoolboy Q and damn, who would be my fifth? 5 artists I like to work with. Who would be my fifth? And an artist by the name of Navy Blue.
Navy blue. Is that from your area?
No, no. I know those are just people that I listen to. Um, if you want me to be specific, like with Cleveland artists, it's a lot of niggas that I know locally, but is there anybody that I would want to work with that's hip hop and outside like my niggas that make music
Yeah.
that I kind of already tapped that I'm already tapped in with? Probably not.
Okay. For sure. For sure. All right. So for you coming up, what music do you have coming out? Do your plug right now.
So right now I am currently working on a collab project with me and Ghost Delore is his name, that my producer. One of the producers I work with very closely. I'm working on that. I also have a collab project that I'm working on with an artist name with the artist that goes by the name of G's from Connecticut. Me and him have a collab tape that we've been working on. Uh, and then I also have Soul Music Volume 2, a collab project with me and a producer by the name of Flowsen that I'm working on as well. I just released a song by the name of Fee Fi Fo Fun with an artist named Bandini from Wichita, Kansas. That's the song that I currently have out now. I believe I dropped that on, I want to say March 10th. So that's the song that's out now that I'm pushing. Um, Outside of that, I'm not working on anything else, but yeah, I got Fee Fi Fo Fum out right now featuring Bandini. And then I am working on my collab project with Ghost, which should be out. I'm like I said, I'm finishing that. I'm about 85% done, but that's something to be on the lookout for.
For sure. So you definitely are working. You definitely are staying busy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. For sure. So where can they find your music? What alias? What do you
Um,
use? What do you use?
So all my music is everywhere.
Okay.
Pretty much everywhere you can stream music, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere that you stream music. But Skinny Boy K. I'm mainly on, like I said, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Apple, but the music is everywhere. YouTube, Amazon Music, wherever you can stream music, anywhere possible you can stream music. Skinny Boy K, Skinny with 2 Y's. That's me.
You got any merchandise that you out here moving with?
I'm working on something right now. I'm working on, so I don't have anything ready right now, but I
Okay.
am in the midst of kind of working on some hardcover vinyls and CDs for
Dope.
like soul music that I released about a year and a half ago. So I'm
Dope.
working on that. I'm trying to get that out because I'm gonna remaster that project, put it back out.
Mhm.
When they I'm gonna give an announcement date for the vinyls and the CDs and everything like that. But it's in the tuck right now. But I plan on kind of moving forward with that pretty soon.
All right, for you, this is my next question for you. Who are the best artists from Ohio that you've heard outside of
Um,
yourself? Outside of
outside
yourself.
of outside of myself, an artist by the name of Jesus, my brother.
Okay.
Artist by the name of OG Mook, my brother. Everybody I'm named is niggas I fuck with. If I don't name y'all, I just don't know y'all niggas. So Jesus, OG Mook, uh, my nigga Yay Rock, uh, the real Polaris. Um, damn, them all, that's it. Them all the niggas I know. And if
Hey,
it's somebody I
that
didn't name, y'all niggas gonna be mad at me. But that's it.
that's who you know. All right, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen, I'm gonna cut the podcast there. It's been a great honor and privilege, and I appreciate Skinny Boy K jumping on the podcast with me and kicking some shit, talking about some dope shit, all the music that he got coming out and everything like that. Look
yes,
forward to
sir.
talking to you sometime in the future after your projects drop, and
Yes,
we have
sir.
some time to reconnect. And as always, remember the mission statement when you're striving for greatness. God never puts you in the driver's seat if it's taken. Skinny Boy K, thank you for jumping on my podcast. Appreciate you,
Thank you for
brother.
having me. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.